Patricia Chadwick grew up in what she calls a cult that was founded by an excommunicated Catholic priest.
I was raised in St. Benedict's Center within a religious community that was called the Slaves of the Immaculate Heart of Mary. My early childhood memories are really wonderful. I was in essence born into this religious community. It was founded when I was 5 months old. And the men and women were all young. Many of them had gone through the war, World War II. Many of them were being educated at Harvard and Radcliffe. This was a very intellectual group of people. Under the auspices and the leadership of a Jesuit Catholic priest named Leonard Feeney, they held very strong views about one dogma of the Catholic faith, which said that you have to be Catholic to go to heaven.
Eventually, Father Feeney was no longer allowed to be a priest in the Boston diocese, and in 1949, the group broke off and took the name Slaves of the Immaculate Heart of Mary. Patricia said the environment was initially fun, but things eventually took a turn.
By the time I was 4 years old, all the grown-ups had changed their name. And my mother, whom everybody had called Betsy, was now known as Sister Elizabeth Ann. And my dad, who everybody called Jim, was Brother James Aloysius. And I had to refer to them that way.
Patricia said she was taught that her community were the only good people in the world, and a woman named Sister Catherine often oversaw the children.
None of that bothered me as long as I was there with my family. But shortly after my 6th birthday, and I remember the day very well, in 1954, it was November 21st. We little girls were known as little sisters, and the grown women were known as big sisters, the little boys, little brothers, and big brothers. And that started an entire change in the entire structure of our life. My father used to love to sing songs to us, and that was all gone. We now lived a life very much in silence. There were no bedtime stories. It was rules, and they were enforced very strongly.
The rules included not being able to touch her siblings.
Sister Catherine set new regulations. She came up with a punishment that she called the Big Punisher, and it was a 2.5, 3-foot piece of rubber hose, garden hose, that was used for punishment for things that you could not even imagine were really bad. You know, giggling, breaking silence, not turning your lights out at night when you should. By the time I was 17 years old, Sister Catherine made the decision that I was, in essence, destroying her vision. I was a temptation of sorts to others, even though I didn't know a thing about procreation, what it meant, or anything. And so in my senior year of high school, she called me in one day and in essence told me that I would have to leave.
She was sent to live with her father's relatives, but eventually Patricia's parents and siblings left the group as well, and they were able to reunite. She has now written a book called Little Sister about her experience.
I think we were a very lucky family. There has never been any anger. And I've been asked, would I change things in the path of my life? And while of course I would have loved to have spent more time with my parents, I would have done anything not to have the beatings or watch other children get beaten the way they were. I've actually come to the realization that the wonderful life I have, the husband I have, the children I have, the wonderful career I've had, all of that might never have happened if I said, oh, if only, if only, if only.
This is Inside Edition Digital.